I'm not sure what it is, but you can see the timings exact. But when you're looking at these timing charts, you have to be careful. They tell you exactly what it is. You have to constantly be aware. The Saturn square the Venus, there's the exact date, December 19th, but it's really about 2 or 3 weeks before, 2 or 3 weeks after, a month before, a month after. That whole aspect is there from now right through to the end of the year or into January. And the Pluto aspect, that's certainly there for a couple of months before and a couple of months after. So that's December 28th. So the confrontation of identity between Christmas and New Year's, like, do you invite people over for Christmas or do you not? Do you go out for New Year's or do you not? There's the harshness there, and there's a tendency there's a fear come up around it. So she could have it if there's a health issue. She's not going to want to be going out that much or eating that much. This is not really a party time. So in knowing this in advance, you'd be prepared to tell her you can't set everything up where you're going to be available for everybody. You have big parties or big functions over the holidays. You're going to be telling her no. You keep it down to bare necessity when you're not. Extra demands don't come in. You don't have everybody over. Everything just, you'll be burned out trying to take care of everybody. Or there'll be one person that causes a big confrontation in the midst of it. Okay, it could be so many things. It's hitting the ascendant, descendant. So this could be something with the kids and their father, or it could be something with husband. It could be something with herself around. Certainly, the pressure's there. She knows what it was. The husband would know what it is. Kids might not, but like they may be the cause of it. It's hard to know. As soon as you know what it was, you would see, okay, you got to face it and deal with it. So this is by the end of the year. You got to look at year end realistically. You're not going to get away with anything. And then it's going to make your plan. So then there's some restrictions there till about the 8th. There's some delay or some, what are we going to do? We have to take care of this. We have to take care of this. Now, don't forget, she's a person always trying to fix things and make things and fix any problems. How much she can take, how healthy she can be doing that. But Jupiter is coming up. It's going to square her sun in January, but it's going to conjunct the midheaven. So she has opportunities. That's to travel for career opportunities coming up with Jupiter on the midheaven. So the challenge could be, do I let go of Canadian citizenships and come here? Do I get set up? Even with business, do I just do business back in Canada? No, it's like things are working well for her around business. So this puzzle is there. By February, Saturn hits the Mercury. So you see, this is the printout day-to-day for Mars and out. The conjunction squares, oppositions for Mars out to Pluto. And I've really I don't even so much mark in this Mars things. They're only 2 or 3 day things. But I will mark in significant things from Jupiter. But usually it's Saturn, Venus, Neptune, Pluto to get the big things on there. But because Jupiter was on the midheaven, then it's squaring the Venus. So there's a need to make more money or to spend more money or something with the Jupiter. Saturn has the worry about how much things are costing. Okay, and then 2020, Saturn goes into Aquarius. And it goes back and forth a bit. Well, Saturn in Aquarius, big change. When Pluto gets there, it's even bigger. But then it's eased off through March, April, through springtime, not a big problem. I mean, it's possible that Pluto on the ascendant, and what if she got a cold or something like, or a partner, Pluto on the ascendant, can affect health scenarios. It's rated the holidays. I just think there's some confrontation comes up at that time. And you wouldn't want to be overextended at that time. Then you go through the rest of the year, so July, August, not so much a problem. July, Mars opposes the sun, so she's a little tired, fed up in July. That's back in Canada. That's a little bit different. That's like just the middle of July. But by the end of July, Saturn's squaring Mercury. And this whole time from May till July till August, Mars is in the 12th house. So she's feeling isolated and dealing with things working toward. It hits her ascendant. Mars hits the ascendant on August 10th. So that's where her energy starts to pump up and start going forward. But you see, Mars goes retrograde, then it comes back over the ascendant, goes back into the 12th, goes back over the ascendant. She gets 3 hits of Mars on the ascendant, doing things just at the same time as Pluto's still close enough to be squaring that. It's So some challenge of what I can do, what I can't do. She's trying to make something happen, and something's twisting. Something's not. It's not twisting. Something's not going the same way she is, and so this is her Neptune Mercury. She goes off to believe and can't see exactly, but Saturn on the Mercury Pluto Mercury are forcing her to look at things in a more practical, realistic way. Just going forward here, yeah, 2021 is not. There's no bigger disruptive acts in 2021. That's the calm year. So there's some decisions to be made. So we look back at this, we see it's a really active chart. Lots of things going on. And these contradictions. So she might say, oh, that's this, or that's this, I'm doing this. And I'm like, but the fear of not having enough money or not being appreciated, that's strong there. How much does it cost you to maintain this, the Pluto? That's a strong issue. And the fear of being alone, so the challenge with the partner and how much he can contribute to what he's doing, that's part of this. Okay, so if there's a challenge with a partner, or if he got sick or something and suddenly she has to do property, but she's alone, she's not going to want to be staying in the States. I don't know. Like, we got the puzzle. We don't know the solutions of how this is going. I'm reading into it a bit. Okay. So now we got this. We got to go to the progressions to see how they're reinforced. And with the progressions, you can see just looking at the natal chart on the right here, Sun's in the 6th house. Where's our progressed Sun go? It's going to go up over the 7th house. Going to spend almost 40 years in the 7th house. And it's going to the 8th house of business. And it's going to move up to the midheaven across her lifetime. Her energy is going more and more towards career, towards being controlled, towards accomplishing things. It's moving out. It's not moving down to be more involved in family. It's moving up and out. It's not about going down to be in a cave and going to the deep. This is about the cost, the effort of maintaining the world that you want to make and building up your world. So Saturn's up there. The Sun's climbing up there. So again, just from the chart, whenever you look at the chart, you can see. First, she's 10 degrees Libra, 20 degrees at 20 years old. It went into Scorpio. At 50, went into Sag. She starts dreaming of traveling. She starts living in 2 countries. Starts going on. You know, and by the time she's at a peak, when did she retire? She's almost too valuable to retire. But how much can you do? Okay. So this just, this just puts the progressions around. You can see here's the Sun in Libra, the chart on the left-hand side, the main chart. Sun and Libra, you see the progressions on the outside. The Sun, Mercury, node are coming up to conjunct. So the Sun will be conjunct Mercury and the nodes in 2 years. But that means, oh, nodes, where's the Moon? The Moon's here in Libra. So in 7 years, the Moon's going to catch up to the Sun. It'll be the new Moon in Sagittarius, and it'll be a new Moon eclipse, because it's within 13 degrees of the North Node. That'll be a solar eclipse in her progressed Sun. That's a really, in the 9th house, that's a really deeply spiritual thing. But because it's going from the 8th house into the 9th house, it can be tied with resources and other countries or traveling. Okay, so the first thing to check, we want to look at the Moon. Here's the Moon to Moon, progressed to progressed, just to get the Moon phases. And we see in 2018, at the beginning of this stuff, she went into the waning half moon, building up to the waning gibbous starts in 2023, December, and then the new moon is in 2026, and that's going to be an eclipse. We have the eclipses double checked here. I could see it from the nodes in the chart, but when we ran the eclipse run, we could see the eclipses in the year she was born. Her next new moon is coming up at 21 degrees 31 of Sag, and in December there's the new moon at 21:31 Sag. So you can see the eclipse. The last new moon, full moon 15 years ago, was also an eclipse, and there was an eclipse 15 years before that. So she's had, and the lunar eclipse was partial. So she's had Oh no, that's before she was born. So this is the two before. So she just has these two, last full moon and the new moon coming up. But you can see the degrees here. We'll see the degree 21. We know she's coming up to the eclipse, which is, to me, it's a spiritual challenge, but intensities. It's an intense reevaluation or recentering. I want to read the moon phase to get a sense of the direction of, let me find it here. Moon phase is, here we go. Okay, where did I get the moon phases? And we're looking for the waning half moon phase. Okay, we go down here. Okay. Okay, this phase begins at the waning half moon and ends 3.5 days, 3.5 years later at the crescent moon. The moonlight is diminishing. Less than half of the moon sphere is lit up and it's getting smaller. There's a sense of moving towards a new beginning somewhere in the not too distant future. There's also a sense of being insignificant in the light of what is to come. You might at times feel you're losing your independence and wanting to find reinforcement from someone else or anyone else. You'll often feel that you're changing and will not be able to do what you're presently involved in. Along with this comes a sense of maintaining a facade or image while preparing within for a very different reality. The minute you find yourself in a committed situation, you will either want more or you will start to prepare for the next one. This means that you often harbor doubts about the present and hope for a better future. With this attitude, consistency can be a problem. You want to share, but you have to have a sense of why and where it is all leading to. It's typical for Librans anyways. But if you feel that the people around you are not sharing or going in the same direction as you, you will align yourself to new aspirations and associates. So this is challenging for where she is and what she's set up. You got everything set up. Are all the pieces in place and holding together? Often it will seem like you're just waiting for the opportunity to change. Old accomplishments will be left behind for new adventures and new relationships. So your idealism about relationships can cause personal pain and bring vulnerabilities to the surface. It's important for you to get hugs and encouragement. You seem to lose yourself in every new involvement. You are a little too quick to respond to a need or the time demand. She is anyways. You need to try to find quality in the relationships rather than quantity. You need to understand why you are attracting the type of people that you do. You are looking for the seeds, but often don't look deep enough. You want someone else to show you the answer. You try to throw yourself too strongly and prematurely into relationships and then try excessively hard to make it work. Sometimes the other person does not deserve or meet your energy. So, okay, this is the puzzle, like a proper line. You're going deeper into yourself, and that's pulling away from some of the people around you. Well, she's a person that thrives on responding to other people, so she's not going to want to be, she's going to be tying into a husband, but her husband's significantly older. Or is it, yeah, not more than a few years anyways older. So his health could be part of this, would she end up being alone? So, okay. But it's because of this theme, you see it in your natal chart, you have a predisposition, but in the progressed phase you're going through, you really can relate to these phases as they're going through and see them. They're giving an attitude as clear as the Saturn being high up in the chart is there. She's working so hard to maintain something, but there's some doubts. And we saw all the transits building up and the reality building up, and how much she can carry. Can she carry? What does she do? So, okay,